My wife cheated on me with a coworker, and now, as I'm divorcing her and seeking revenge, she and her father are crying and begging for forgiveness. I am a 28-year-old male, married to a 27-year-old female. We've been together for 5 years and married for about 3. We have no children, both work in good IT firms, have no property together, and currently rent an apartment. We have no loans, our savings are separate, and our earnings are about equal. I found this sub about a year ago, so I am posting here for advice on what to do. I found out she was cheating on me about 10 days ago when I heard her talking to someone on the phone. The call ended as soon as I walked in. So, at about 3 a.m., I checked her phone and found that the call logs from that evening around 9 p.m. were deleted. I did some digging and found she uses Telegram, which I never knew because we chatting and everything. I have been busy at work for about 3 months, competing for a promotion with 2 other individuals, so I was not able to give much time at home. The affair is with a work colleague and has been going on for about 9 weeks. When I found out, they were digitally flirting with each other and sending nudes in different positions. I could tell it was just for sex and fun, as she has mentioned many times that she does not want him to think they are anything more. They have been physical 4 times. I took screenshots of everything, but did not have the guts to confront her. I was very shaken and thought it would be over if I confronted her. For a few days, I was numb and didn't know what to do. She asked if everything was okay, and I said there was a problem at the office. At the office, everyone was asking if I was okay, so I told them that my aunt had died. I also took leave for 2 weeks and told HR that my wife was cheating. Then, 4 days ago, she was going on a trip to meet him at a hotel. I was very stressed and heartbroken. I threw up in the morning and had a very high fever, so I asked her to stay, but she said she would if she could, but the work trip was important. Then and there, I knew I was divorcing her. I asked my brother to follow her and take photos of her yesterday. He got a perfect shot of her kissing him. I was crushed. I cried a lot and wanted to drink, but my brother held me back. I wanted revenge, so I am going to tell her that I am having an affair with another woman and then leave her. She will portray herself as a victim and tell her friends and parents, who are very conservative, so I am sure they will be very angry at me. Then, I will tell everyone that she is making fake stories and show proof of her cheating. Nobody will believe her again, not even her parents. I asked my father's friend, who is also his neighbor and a lawyer. He says the divorce will be easy with evidence, and there is nothing to divide, as jewelry is the only thing we have to discuss since my mother gave my wife some of hers. I am going to leave today to live with my friend who has an extra room. He is living alone now. I am waiting for her to come home, with my ring off my finger, wish me the best of luck, and tell me how to heal from this. Also, this is a throwaway account update. I know she is very remorseful. She has done anything I could ask for, but still, should I forgive her? I wrote this post 8 days ago, but only posted it yesterday. So here is an update. When I told her about my affair, she was shocked. I tried to leave as fast as I could, with my clothes already in the car, but she just would not let me go and started asking questions such as, "Who is she? Do you really love her, not your wife?" Then she started mumbling, and I just shouted, "Let go." I had not shouted in 5 years of our relationship. Then I ran to my car and left. After that, I got at least 10 calls from her, then I blocked her. Then texts started coming in by the hundreds. I texted her, "Do not text, or I will block you," and told her we would discuss the future in a few days. She stopped texting after a few more messages, and then we agreed to meet. I met her after 3 days. She was very weak, as she had not eaten, and her eyes were swollen. She started by saying that she knew I had no affair because that's the kind of person I am, and I never had enough time for an affair. She said I was leaving because of her affair, and how sorry she was and how she wanted forgiveness. After 30 minutes, I told her the truth. Then she told me that her meeting was not fake, just that it was only 3 days. The extra day was for her to fool around. That is why she could not stay to take care of me. I asked for her phone. She gave it to me, and surprisingly, nothing was deleted. She had told her fair partner to never contact her and then blocked him. She told me he was nothing to her and that she only loves me. She also told her HR about it, plans to quit, and told her affair partner's wife with proof that evening. I said I didn't believe her and wanted a divorce. She just started crying and asking for another chance. This took about 2 hours. Then, at our home, a woman came. My wife told me she was her affair partner's wife. She started asking for forgiveness from her, and then gave proof of them hanging out, kissing each other, and texts. The woman started to cry and curse my wife, then told her that she hoped our marriage breaks. She left with that, and I also gave her my number for additional proof. I asked my wife what she thought would be the outcome, as we were supposed to buy a home this year and start a family next year. Then I left without her answer. She could not answer my question. I could tell that my wife was very sorry, and I am sure she will not repeat it again. But why should I give her another chance? As one chance should be enough. I had spent all 5 years dedicated to loving her and making our living better. The next day, I got a call from her father, telling me how sorry he was and that it was up to me to divorce or not. But he told me that his daughter was sincere in her forgiveness and asked me to consider giving her another chance. Then nothing happened until today. I started going to the office, and my wife has not resigned, but her affair partner has. It seems that HR has fired him but not her, as she is important for the team currently. I got this information from HR through Facebook. She keeps texting me and also visited my brother, thinking I was living with him. She left as soon as she knew I was not there. Nothing has happened until now. I know she is very remorseful. She has done anything I could ask for. But still, should I forgive her? To be honest, I still love her very much, but I don't want a toxic or loveless marriage. Also, I want to be able to trust my partner with anything and everything. Story 2. I, a 34-year-old male, have been married to my wife, a 32-year-old female, for 5 years, and we have 3 children. A few months ago, I found out from my wife's text that she had been cheating on me, and I confronted her about it. She confessed to it and gave me an entire breakdown of her affair, which had lasted for a month. I was devastated and asked her why. She gave no excuses for it and said she had caught feelings for her affair partner, which were wrong, and she had acted on them. He was her coworker. I asked her if I could act in anything, and she said no, and she was in tears. I needed a few days to process this. My wife gave me space, but she asked me many times to reconsider divorce because it would uproot the lives of our children. She said she would do anything I wanted for the rest of my life. After a week, I decided that I needed only one thing from my wife to completely forgive her: to call each and every one of her friends and family and confess to her affair. I told her that was my only condition. She was really hesitant and asked me if I could reconsider the condition, because this would ruin a lot of her friendships and family relationships. But I told her this was what I needed as a part of my forgiveness process, and that if she didn't do this, I was going to start looking for a divorce lawyer over the next week. My wife made a phone call to all of her friends, parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, pretty much anyone she knew, and confessed to her affair. It was hurtful, and there was a lot of crying. My wife was hurled with a lot of shouting by the week's end. My wife had called everyone I had wanted her to call. It has been a few months, and my wife and I actually have a really strong relationship now. However, my wife has pretty much become isolated from her friends and a lot of her family. This has hurt her a lot, and she spends a lot of nights crying. But she says this was worth it for our relationship and for our children. Am I the idiot? Comments incredible that anyone with 3 small kids finds time to cheat. I only have one, and barely have the time to shower. I just feel like that's embarrassing for you too. You stayed with a cheating spouse. Like your wife crapped the bed, then had to tell her whole family and friends she crapped the bed while you were in the bed, sitting in the crap. Esh. I hate cheaters, but I don't understand what you're trying to do here. I guarantee you, your relationship is not stronger than ever. The public humiliation you put her through will stay with her until she explodes. It would be an okay thing if she told a bunch of lies about you, and it needed to be corrected. I just don't know what you're trying to do here. Update. I feel really guilty even typing this out, but I am now considering a divorce. While I still love my wife, her personality has completely shifted over the past few months, and she is no longer the joyous and energetic person I fell in love with. Instead, she's always sad, gloomy, cries often, and very, very clingy to me. I admit that I made a mistake asking her to confess her affair to everyone because it has just changed her personality completely. I wish she could go back to her joyous nature, but I don't know if it's possible anymore. I am not sure how to tell my wife I am considering a divorce because it would just break her heart. Story 32X Kids 812 2. Dogs her 43 me 44 she had EA 2 years ago. She convinced me it was nothing and just work talk. They were colleagues. I banned her from contacting him, but she assured me it was an overreaction and no need for it. The constant hiding of her phone, emotional distancing, and many other red flags led us to end up going to EA's wedding with his wife, who were mutual friends. My gut feeling was bad, so I refused to go to the wedding. I got manipulated and convinced to go, and I really wish I hadn't. 3 months after the wedding, the affair became physical and lasted for approximately 10 months. During this time, she was mean, toxic, and generally a horrible person to be around, both to me and the kids. She drank heavily and was a functioning alcoholic. She has overall been a reasonably poor mother to our kids, with lots of shouting, drinking, and setting bad examples. AP's wife saw messages while on holiday, and the affair stopped. An ultimatum was given to WS by AP's wife to tell me it never happened. WS had therapy, and she and the therapist decided there was no benefit in me ever knowing about the affair. What sort of therapist suggests this at this point? The affair had been stopped for about 2 months, and her behavior toward me and the family had warmed slightly. She was still extremely distant to me, though. At least there was no unreasonable fighting. We had an argument one morning when I complained that she was so different and so distant. It was horrible to be around, and she was like a brick wall. The excuses and justifications were thrown around, and I point-blank asked her if she had cheated. For once, she didn't lie, so I kicked her out. Now, I live at the home with the kids and the dogs, while she is in a hotel or motel. She wants to know what to do in the future, and wants to move back into the house to sleep in the spare room. I never want to see her again and have told her that once we are separated for 2 years, we will be divorced. Our country's law suggests having her in the house would be good for the kids, I guess, but very bad for me. We can't really afford her to be paying for a second accommodation. I earn a lot less than her, but I do the majority of the childcare and work from home, growing a startup. I don't know what to do. I don't want her here, but she still pays for the mortgage and utilities. I won't move out because I didn't do anything wrong, and I love this home. Plus, I have a home studio and workshop that is critical to my business. The kids love the house too, and she doesn't want to live with her parents. I think she is too embarrassed to do this because of what she has done. Relevant comment. There's nothing you can do to keep her out of the house if you haven't already engaged a lawyer. You should do so. Look up how to gray rock and start implementing it around her. If he moves back in, define your boundaries. How is housework split? How is childcare split? 1 week on, 1 week off. What do you tell the kids? How are our finances split? What do mealtimes look like? What do weekends look like? I'll be honest, though. I don't think 2 years of living together while separated is doable. Good idea on the boundary split. Thanks for the update. How dare she to hurt me? Everything we had, and everything we had planned. She hurt our parents. She hurt our friends. When I saw my kids cry, it felt like she had punched them in the face. It's so selfish, so weak, such narcissism to spend years manipulating and lying, years convincing me that I was wrong, that I needed to change, do more. Literally gaslighting me into believing that I was paranoid and going clinically crazy. Part of me hopes she can get the professional help she so obviously needs, but most of me hopes to have nothing to do with her again. Damn you. I hope she realizes how many people around her think she is a total idiot. Update. My wife had an affair. I found out about 1.5 weeks ago and told her to leave the house, which she did. There will probably be a point in the near future when she will move back and sleep in the spare room. As much as I don't want her to, and I don't want anything to do with her, we both own the home and have 2 kids and 2 dogs. I'm pretty worried about how this is going to go. She triggers me really badly. I can't stop ruminating. I am trying gray rock, but it's so hard. She likes to be mean, classic narcissist, and she's totally love bombing the kids with gifts. I have made it very clear that the affair means divorce. I work from home and have an office and workshop here that I need constant access to. Has anyone got any advice on how to manage this? Update. My SDBXW had an affair. I found out 7 weeks ago. I told her I wanted a divorce, and we are now separated. Divorce in our country requires 2 years of separation prior. She moved out most of her stuff 2 days ago, and last night, I had a friend over. This friend has also been going through a recent affair and separation, and we have been emotionally supportive for each other. I have felt a bit of something more with this friend brewing for the last few weeks. It's been nice. She stayed the night last night, shared a bed, and kissing and cuddling ensued. We talked and feel like we would like to give whatever this is a go. We have an obvious connection, and we do work together a lot. I am a designer, and I contract to the agency she manages. We have a good, healthy working relationship and both want to protect that. We are both really good communicators and will put the effort into ensuring things work. Does anyone have any advice on how we can date, maintain boundaries, and retain this working relationship? We are also really conscious that this is so soon after the betrayal by both of our partners. We've been together for 20 years, and I want to take this really slow. I've told her this, and she respects it. Any ideas on time frames, do's and don'ts? It all just feels so damn new and kind of scary, exciting. Edit. Okay, some details have been missed. We separated 6 weeks ago. She moved out then, and she moved out all her belongings 2 days ago. Sorry, should have said this. Update. How should it work with my ex-wife's gifts? This was our first Christmas separated, and we each got a gift on behalf of the kids for them to give to the other parent. It is now her birthday in a couple of weeks. She had an affair, but I'm not hugely bitter towards her or anything. We can talk and manage childcare requirements fine. I just don't want to be responsible for purchasing her gifts anymore, though. Plus, I don't want gifts from my kids that have come to them from her. Would it be appropriate to tell my ex-wife that this is what I want, and that she can either help the kids get gifts herself, or should I talk to her mom and ask her to help? Update. So my 43 male ex-wife, 41 female, had an affair for about a year, which ended in August 2023. I found out about it in October 2023 and told her to leave the house that day. She hasn't been back since. We are separated, and divorce will happen in 18 months, according to the law. We have 2 kids, aged 8 and 11. I am in the family home, while she has a rental in a suburb over. I have a bit of a unique situation. My family lent us money to purchase the house, and then a few years later, money to do a renovation. This money was signed and is being held payable on demand, with interest charged if decided by the family. This has the potential to ensure she walks away with nothing. I am kind of fighting for her to be left with some money, enough for a deposit on a small house, so she can still care for our kids when she has them. We share custody 50-50. My family is furious at my ex-wife for the gaslighting, manipulation, and lying for so many years. They really hate her, and I'm going to have a real fight on my hands to get them to stand down and not ruin her. I'm torn. I'm hurt by what she did, the hair act caused my family, my kids, and the years of terrible treatment from her to me. What should I do? Let her get very little? Fight for her to get more? I don't want her to campaign the kids against me and their grandparents due to this happening. She has already said several crappy things to the kids about me and my family, which is very unfair. I've been very careful to only be fair and honest. Here's an update. She earns more than I do. If I wanted, I could force her to pay me child support and spousal maintenance. Both her mother and father have split due to infidelity, and both sides are well off. They have never helped her financially, to my knowledge, but they definitely have the means to do so. They have always been happy for any financial assistance to come from my side of the family. She will get a reasonable inheritance in time. She has a drinking problem, prioritizing drinking, substances, and partying over the kids and family on multiple occasions. Her affair partner also earns good money. He was married for only 3 months before the affair started. I don't know if they are a couple, and I don't even care, but if they are, then together they can definitely afford a house based on their salaries, as many have said in the comments. Regardless of what I do, she will badmouth me to her family, friends, and most likely our kids. I don't think she deserves nothing. It's not right for the kids. I'm not going to fight my family on this, though. It's their money, loan, and decision.